Hello, I'm Michael Finn, holistic exercise and lifestyle coach, and today is going to be all about improving strength in our lower body, which also means kind of total body, but improving strength through our lower body, and this is kind of step one to all of that. So our feet are what are in contact with the ground, more so than anything else, of course. And therefore, you can have all the hip strength and all of the quad strength in your thighs and all of the hamstring strength and all the glute strength that you want. But if your feet do not function correctly, you're going to lose all of that force between the knee, the ankle, and the foot. So we have more than 30 joints in each foot. We've got the really complex mobile ankle joint to deal with too. And so this is like one of the things I run into sometimes with like sprinters and other athletes where they've developed all of this strength doing deadlifts and squats and all this other kind of stuff through their hip complex, but nothing in their lower body. And so there's this huge bleed off of actual strength and function through the lower body because it just can't handle the load. And your body knows that, and it's only going to allow you to produce the force that you're not going to injure yourself with. So, we are going to start with the feet and the ankles, okay? And the first thing we need to do is we need to improve function. So before anything else, if you go to like any strength and conditioning coach or anything like that that actually really knows what they're doing, you have to improve the function of those things before you actually increase strength. So, and in improving the function, you're actually going to increase strength typically by a good 25 to 50%. So just because they're going to function better. So, we're going to start off with working on the bottom of the feet. So I've got a lacrosse ball here. You can get them on Amazon or any sporting goods store. They're fairly inexpensive. And they're hard, dense rubber. Okay, and so we kind of can use these as a little bit of self-massage. So as I'm standing, I'm going to put my lacrosse ball down on the floor. And I'm going to use the wall for some stability standing on my left foot. And I'm going to put my right foot on top of that lacrosse ball. And I'm going to slowly roll all around the bottom of my foot. And I'm going to put some of my body weight on that right foot, so that that ball digs into the bottom of my foot. So right now I'm starting just at below the ball of my foot and I'm rolling down towards my heel and I'm doing one little section at a time. I started towards the outside of my foot and I'm working all the way in towards the arch or the inside of my foot. And I'm just going ball of the foot to the heel of the foot, ball of the foot to the heel of the foot with about 20 pounds of pressure on my foot. And I'm finding out to see if there's any spots that are kind of tender or sore in that area. And so when I find a tender or sore spot, I'm going to stop and I'm going to hang out there for about 10 seconds and just breathe and relax into that and let that open up. Okay, and then I'm going to continue, and I found another little spot there, so I'll hold that there too. So I'm going to do that all the way across that foot until I have gone from the ball of the foot to the heel of the foot, from the outside of my foot all the way into the arch. I'm even tipping my foot over so that I'm lifting up the outside of my foot and I'm dropping the inside of my foot down and rolling on the inside of that arch to loosen all of that tissue up as much as I can. Alright, and then I'm going to go all around my heel. Just kind of roll all around my heel. Typically people don't have a lot of sore spots there, but every now and then somebody does. So I'll roll all around the heel fairly quickly with a little bit of pressure on there. And then I'll move into the ball of the foot and I'll do the same thing. I'll start out by the pinky toe and I'll kind of roll around to the ball of the foot and like right at the base of the toes. And I'll find out if there's any kind of issues there around the ball of the foot. Kind of have something a little bit around the middle toe area, between the middle toe and the middle arch there. So I'll roll over that a little bit. If I find any discomfort, I will stop and I will hold there for about 10 seconds. And I'll work my way all the way into the big toe. Getting into that big toe area and opening all of that up. Okay, making sure that the big toe doesn't have any sore points around it and it can actually function. And then after I do that, I'm going to move it around on the floor a little bit, I take it off the ball, and I'm going to do like, little toe raises and that sort of thing really quick and feel that my foot is looser, all right? And then I'll turn around and I will do the other foot as well, which I'm not going to do right at the moment because then there's part two. So the other part two is the fact that our calf muscles, our big muscles in our calf, are actually connected down to our foot. And it's kind of like our core. Everybody thinks, oh, the core is so important up here in the mid-torso. Well, it is important, but we kind of have a core in our foot too. And the core in our foot communicates with the core in our midsection. So even rolling out that foot, a lot of times, a lot of people talk about, oh, it's like my back feels so much better whenever, after rolling out my feet. And that is because your foot is in contact with the ground and it tells you what your core is supposed to do when your foot is on the ground and what position your foot is in. But the more bound up your foot is, because you've crammed it into a shoe or all these other things, the worse off you're going to be. It's why most of my training I do barefoot. So, except for my running outside where I need some shoes to protect my feet, but I try to get real soft, flexible shoes that don't restrict my mobility. So, but we also need to loosen up the calf muscles because they control the foot also. So with this, we're going to have a foam roller. And you can also do this with the lacrosse ball, but it's typically a little bit intense with the lacrosse ball. So I typically recommend people start off with a foam roller. Typically black rollers like this one are really dense and they're really hard. If you need something softer, the white ones are much easier to start off with, but I like the black ones. They last for a long time, and I've been doing this for so long, I can handle it. So, we are sitting on the floor, my legs are out straight, and my calves, basically close to my ankles, are sitting up on top of the foam roller, all right? And I'm sitting up and I'm supporting myself with my hands, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to push my hands into the floor to lift my hips up off the ground while my calves are up there on top of the foam roller, and I'm going to roll up and down my calves a little bit, and I do it in small little sections, and I'll even turn my legs a little bit to the left, and then I'll leave my legs straight a little bit, and then when I'm saying turning them, I'm only turning them about an inch, just so that I can get on the inside and the outside of the calf a little bit, up the middle, and on the other inside and outside of the calf a little bit. So I'll do that. So I kind of did the bottom part from my ankle to about a third of the way up my leg. Then I'm going to scoot forward a little bit more, set myself down. This is actually great for building upper body strength and shoulder stability. So, because you got to use your upper body to do it. And so then I'll lift myself up again, and I will roll through the middle part of the calf. Once again, turning each direction. If I find any sore tender spots in there, I will hold for 10 seconds and try to open that up. So I'll do that middle section, and then once again I'll set myself down and I'll walk up to the top third, and then I'll roll the top third, which typically this is where people have the most pain and discomfort, is in the top third. All right, now that typically gets fairly easy for people pretty quickly. And so therefore I like to do one leg at a time. So I have my right leg up on the roller. I started back down at the ankle once again. My right leg is straight and up on top of the roller, with the ankle being on top of the roller. My left leg is now on top of my right leg. So I've got my left leg crossed over the top, so that now I have extra added weight on that right leg. And now I'm going to pick myself up and I'm going to roll that bottom third of my right leg with my left leg on the top of it for extra added weight. Okay, so this is actually how I start now. I don't do both legs at the same time because it doesn't really do much of anything for me. And then now I can actually feel a couple little tender spots in there. And so those I'm going to want to stop, and I'm going to want to hold for 10 seconds and loosen that up. And then when I'm done with the bottom third, I'll move up, I'll set myself down, I'll shift to the middle third, and I'll roll up and down my leg in the middle third of my calf, rotating to the inside of my right leg, the middle of my right leg, and the outside of my right leg in the calf area. Okay, going up and down there, rolling that roller up and down, and if I find any tender spots in there, I'm going to hang out for about 10 seconds, and loosen them up. And then I'm going to set myself down, and I'm going to roll up to the top third of my calf on top of the roller, and I'm going to roll up and down there. And same thing, inside, middle, outside, so that each position I'm going to go up and down about 5 times, so that I kind of go back and forth, and I just kind of look around and I see if I find any tender spots. Like there's a little tender spot out there on the outside of that, and so I would hold there for about 10 seconds and then open that up, okay? And so then that's the whole right leg, and then you do the whole left leg. And then after that, you can come back up to your feet, and you can walk around and see how much looser your lower legs and your feet feel, and that's going to allow them to perform better so that you can run better, walk better, jump better, function better, and that's going to improve everything else in your body, all right? So, now, for building strength, I'll put a link down in the description below to the next step for building strength in those lower joints and the way you start doing that. But you want to do this, you'll see other videos on my site for all the other different areas of your body that you need to open up and improve the function with. Alright? So, if you have any questions, reach out to me. You can text me. You can find me on Instagram at MichaelFinn490. You can DM me over there. Or you can email me. Any way you want to reach me, feel free. Please subscribe. Hit the little notification bell so that you get all these new videos as I put them out, so that you can create your body to be really super healthy like mine is. And I wish you all a happy and healthy day, and I'll see you in the next video.